Whoops, I had jury duty. Let's get this ball rolling again. I'm still not sure on what schedule I want to have with this. So, I don't know. Comment like 1 day a week, 2 days a week. I think 3 days is all I'd try to shoot for max. You know what I'm saying? Like Monday, Wednesday, Friday, or every Monday, or every Monday, Friday, or Monday, Thursday, something like that. What would you prefer? Okay. Chapter 3. Nick lay on his back, staring up at the sky. Despite a yoga mat underneath him, he could feel the grass tickling his arms where they splayed out. Teddy lay in the same position a little ways off to his right. Tom stood. His bare skin revealed rippling muscle with virtually zero fat. He grinned at the camera stand as he spoke to it. That wraps up today's program. Remember to drink plenty of water and feed the body with Tom's Big Cannon's vegan-friendly protein shakes. Links down below in the description. He lifted his arms in one last exaggerated stretch. Don't forget to comment, like, and subscribe. I'll see you all next time. He stepped forward and turned off the camera. His smile faded and his breath became slightly more labored the moment he finished. Next time I want you to pick up your feet more, he said. We're trying to set an example for the people at home. Wouldn't that make us relatable? Asked Teddy. Wouldn't that make us relatable? Asked Teddy. I don't know, how's that been working out for your channel? Nick sat up. It can't hurt, can it? I'll tell you what, said Tom. When you guys reach 5.5 million subscribers, I'll start taking your advice. Until then, let's try and remember that you guys are the ones who need to collaborate with me. Daisy came from the back door carrying a glass jug filled with ice water and 3 glasses. Tom took a sip from his water bottle, then kissed her on the forehead. You're not going to help me? She asked when he made a move to head inside. 3's already a crowd, dear. You have your cousin and his little friend. Fine, said Daisy to his back. Miss out on all of the healing benefits of my special water. As he disappeared inside, his voice came from the shadows. I'm sure I'll survive. Ugh, said Daisy. Sometimes I swear. There was a patio set in the backyard where she set the water and meticulously arranged the glasses. She then went back inside, returning with a camera strapped around her neck and a light stand in both hands. By then, Nick had found the strength to stand. He watched as she fumbled turning on the light and adjusted it to shine down on the patio table. She then rearranged the empty glasses one more time before scoping out the scene through her camera. Get over here, boys, she said as she continued staring at the table through her camera. They complied, though Nick found the act of walking significantly harder than he had an hour earlier. Nick, sit here. Teddy, you there, she said, directing them to the chairs on the far side of the table. Teddy leaned forward to peer down into the jug. What's in it? It's lemon water with 1% green tea, spearmint, and cinnamon, said Daisy. It's supposed to help burn fat and boost the immune system. Try taking your shirt off. They're all sweaty and gross. Your shirt's off. They're all sweaty and gross. Speaking of California, I'm getting a call and all kinds of messages. Okay. She waited for them to comply, then said, Teddy, you put yours back on. Nick, try standing. Does it taste good? Asked Nick. It doesn't matter. As long as they enjoy the video, very few are going to actually try and make it. said Daisy. Nick, can you flex your stomach and make it look natural? Nick flexed his stomach, though it already burned. I can try, he said. Good. Now each of you pour a glass. Cheers each other. Daisy focused through the camera as she spoke. Okay, now take a sip and pretend it's the greatest thing you've ever tasted. As soon as they had done so, Daisy lowered the camera. That was perfect. Now go get cleaned up. You two stink. Nick and Teddy both looked at each other, then made for the house. Nick did not feel comfortable using someone else's shower, but he knew how persistent his cousin would be, so didn't bother to protest. Teddy went in right after Tom, and by Nick's turn, there was no more hot water. It wasn't horrible, mostly because he still felt hot from the workout video. It still made him want to rush. When he came out, Tom and Teddy were leaning against the pool table. They were each holding a small glass with a brown liquid inside. A third glass waited for Nick on the corner of the table. As he grabbed the glass, Daisy came out from her bedroom. She froze when she got to Tom. You put on cologne? Of course, said Tom. Do you like it? Nick took a sip of the brown liquid and instantly recognized the taste of whiskey. To him, it felt like sucking on a battery. He winced and hoped no one noticed. You never put on cologne for me, said Daisy. Babe, why do you feel the need to suddenly put it on now? Nick made his best effort at another sip, only to find the taste growing even worse. He returned his glass to its spot on the corner of the table, where he hoped no one would pressure him to pick it up again. You know Bermanco sponsored my channel, said Tom. What good am I to my subscribers if I don't at least test it first? Nick could see tears beginning to form in Daisy's eyes. He wondered what could be so upsetting. Fine, she said. I hope your stupid Lyft driver crashes. Daisy, said Tom, but she was already storming off back to her room. Tom slammed the rest of his drink. That's our Lyft, too, Teddy whispered, so only Nick could hear. 10 minutes later, and said Lyft waited outside. They all piled in and were soon on their way downtown. The drive felt short, with Tom and Daisy's house being so close to the edge of the city. Tom sat in the front and made small talk with the driver. Twice he inquired if the driver had ever seen his YouTube videos. They were almost to the destination when he blurted, "Stop here." All around them, the buildings towered out of sight from the view of the car window. It wasn't until Nick stepped out into the sidewalk that he could see their tops. The air felt warm, though starting to cool. The sun was making its final dip toward the horizon. Nice weather was the norm in this city, and tonight would be no exception. Oh, there's another call from the same person. California. That's where this book's taking place. Calm down, California. I'm trying to read. Alright. Following Tom, they entered a grayish tan building and made their way to an elevator. They emerged on the other side at a rooftop bar. It was quaint up there, with potted palm trees and gaslit fires that burned over rocks. A soft breeze tumbled over them, feeling nice against the warm air. There's an outdoor movie theater just over there, said Tom, as they sat down, pointing to the far side of the roof. Once pointed out, Nick could see people buying tickets. When the waitress came over, Tom tried to buy them all a round of drinks. Nick and Teddy were forced to admit to not being 21 and had to settle for a couple of Cokes. They were surprisingly expensive, making it a relief when Tom picked up the tab. After the rooftop bar, Tom led them to a club, the outside of which was draped in purple and blue lights. The dark street led vehicles past a line that formed at the front door. Tom ignored the line and walked straight up to the bouncer. The bouncer recognized him and let them all through. This is awesome, said Teddy as they entered the dark cavern beyond the front door. Lights flashed in colorful lasers and strobes as the building opened up before them. The music blasting through the room was more beat than lyricism, and the people on the dance floor moved together in tightly packed groups. Nick was so caught up in the scene that he didn't notice Tom walking away until Teddy pointed it out. Tom made his way to a row of booths separating from the rest of the club by a red velvet rope. As he approached, the bouncer standing nearby unclasped the rope to let him through. Nick and Teddy were quick to catch up, but by the time they got there, the rope had already been closed. "Can I help you?" asked the bouncer. "Can we get through?" replied Teddy. The bouncer scrutinized them with all the intimidating menace of an actual tower. "You boys have $300 cash?" Both Nick and Teddy gave each other a look. "They're with me," Tom called from one of the booths. This was all the confirmation the bouncer needed. He unhooked the rope and gestured for them to go through. There were two other people at the booth with Tom, one of which Nick recognized as a YouTuber whose channel revolved around pulling pranks. He went by Logan Laughs, or at least that was the name of his channel. "This is Logan and his brother," said Tom as they sat down. The brother, a sandy blonde-haired guy with a prominent scar over his right eye, offered to shake their hand. "I'm Jake," he said. Logan acted indifferent. "See those girls over there?" said Logan, addressing only Tom. "I just sent my boy out to the dance floor to get them over here." Tom let out a hearty laugh. "You're a real dog, Logan, and that's why I love you." The waitress came up, and Tom bought a round of shots for everyone at the table. Nick debated reminding him that he and Teddy were still not 21. He decided against it, seeing as nobody in the VIP section seemed to care. When the shots came, Nick downed his and grimaced as an invisible fire overtook his throat. He had tasted tequila only once before, and that had merely been a sip. This time, the unique flavor tore its way through him, even making it into his sinuses. As Nick struggled, he failed to notice 4 girls from the dance floor walking up. "Wait," said one of them, drawing attention to themselves for the first time. "Are you Tom from Tom's Big Cannons on YouTube?" "That depends on who's asking," said Tom with a smirk. The girl looked starstruck. "Oh my gosh, I've done all of your workouts." Tom made a show of looking up and down the length of her. "Looks like I did a pretty good job." "Who are you two?" said a dark-haired guy with 4 piercings in his nose and lip. He stood in the middle of the girls. "This is Nick and Teddy," said Jake, seeing that Tom and Logan had become too distracted to answer. "They're Tom's cousins." "Oh," said the dark-haired guy, loosening up a little. "Nice to meet you." Nick waited for the guy's name, but he never gave it. Instead, he turned away to join Tom and Logan flirting with the girls. "He's a little standoffish at first," said Jake, "but he'll do anything for someone once he gets to know them." "Well, that's nice," said Nick, his gut warning him not to get to know the guy. His 2-second impression concluding that he didn't seem like a very nice person at all. Oh, that's good. Okay. The club was filled more and more with people every passing minute. Soon the dance floor was packed along with every booth in the VIP section. People were coming and going from their booth in droves. Most were fans of Tom or the other guys. A few were creators themselves. There were so many that Nick knew he couldn't possibly remember most. He tried mentioning that he was open for collaborations as much as he could. Unfortunately, everyone seemed more interested in partying and were quick to change the subject. Tom continued to order the whole table's shots, which now included the girls from the dance floor. Nick did his best to refuse, but the peer pressure railroaded him, and Tom acted irritant that he spent money on them. To combat this, Nick focused on drinking as much water as the waitress would bring. Even so, he began feeling pretty tipsy. "What do you say, girl?" Tom said as Nick stared down at an empty shot glass. Tom pulled the girl into his lap and wrapped his arms around her waist. "Should we go out and dance?" The girl responded by nodding, before kissing him on the lips. Tom accepted this, and they were soon making out. Nick felt taken back. He knew people considered different things cheating, but for him, this crossed way over the line. Watching Tom do it so blatantly and with no remorse, it was disgusting. Moments later, when everyone got up to dance, Nick found himself not in a good mood. This left him at the booth by himself, brooding about his cousin-in-law's actions. There had been no hesitation. The moment the girl let on that she was interested, he had reciprocated. Nick couldn't fathom what would make a married man act like that. He didn't know how long he sat there, perhaps for 3 songs, but eventually Teddy came back. "What a joke," said Nick. "Huh?" said Teddy. "Check out what I got." Nick turned and for the first time noticed a girl standing with him. She wore a yellow sundress that would fit better at a picnic in the park than the club. She had blonde hair with dark roots and that matched her eyebrows. As she smiled and reached out her hand for Nick to take, she revealed beautifully white teeth. Nick swallowed hard, finding that his nerves had suddenly frayed. At that moment, his mind registered blank, of all things. Normally, this is where you'd shake someone's hand, she said, and Nick found even her voice to be stunning. Said Nick, pulling himself back together. "Right. Sorry. Nice to meet you. I'm Nick." "Jordan," she said, finally shaking his hand. With a little insistence from Teddy, Jordan sat down at the booth with them. He did his best to then order her a drink, to which she adamantly insisted on water. There we go. Had like a message stuck up there. Okay, it's distracting. "Yup," Teddy said as the round of waters came up. "We had our first big collaboration today with Tom and his wife." "And Tom is your cousin?" asked Jordan. "He's Nick's cousin. Well, cousin-in-law, I should say. He's actually blood related to Daisy." "Is that true, Nick?" At that point, Nick was observing Tom and his fangirl on the dance floor, and only partially aware of the conversation going on around him. "Is what true?" he asked. "Are you Daisy from Home, Heart, and Health's cousin?" "Oh yeah," said Nick. "On my dad's side." She scooted a little closer and leaned in. "And you moved out here to be closer to her? Are you hoping to use her clout to boost your own YouTube channel?" "He's not that smart," said Teddy. "I practically had to drag him into a collaboration." "So you came all the way out here for what?" she went on. Uh-oh. Something in my throat all of a sudden. I got this. "So you came all the way out here for what?" she went on. "This is where all the influencers are, or at least most of them," said Nick. "We thought that if we came here, it would improve our chances of success." He knew deep down that he needed his cousin, said Teddy. How's that working out for you? Asked Jordan. Teddy let out a laugh that Nick knew was fake. He had to collaborate with them. It's not like that's what I set out to do, said Nick, still distracted by Tom and his fangirl. They were beginning to sink deeper into the crowded dance floor, but knowing where they were at, he could still see them. Does Daisy have anything new going on? Asked Jordan. Like what? Asked Nick. Oh, a new video series, unexpected pregnancy. This finally pulled more of Nick's attention. Unexpected pregnancy? Yeah, anything out of the ordinary? Said Jordan. Nick shrugged. She's doing a 5-video series on alternate uses for dollar store products. How about you? Teddy cut in. Got anything going on in your life? Jordan ignored him. That's it? Just the dollar store videos? Yep, said Nick, his attention going back to the dance floor. He realized Tom and the fangirl had moved from the spot they had last been. They didn't appear to be anywhere near there, nor had they gone by Logan or Jake. Nick sat up and stretched his neck for a better view. He couldn't be completely sure, but they didn't seem to be on the dance floor at all. Is everything okay? Asked Jordan. Yeah, said Nick, mostly ignoring her. He searched the most likely path they would take back to the booth, but to no avail. Nor did there appear to be anyone that matched Tom's description at the bar on the opposite side of the room. It wasn't until Nick did a wide sweep of the room that he spotted them. Just in time, too, as the fangirl had a fistful of Tom's shirt as she pulled him into the ladies' bathroom. Are you kidding me? Said Nick, sinking back into the booth. You look pretty upset, Jordan pressed. Teddy leaned forward, putting the entire upper half of his body over the table. He'll be all right. Want to go back to the dance floor? Nick's eyes were still locked on the ladies' room door. How blatantly disrespectful do you have to be? Jordan gently grabbed his arm. He felt warmth there and looked down at her hand. Tell us what's wrong, she said. Maybe we can help. Nick looked up in time to see Teddy slouching back into the booth with his arms crossed. You want to know what's wrong? Asked Nick. It's my piece of crap cousin-in-law. That's what's wrong. Okay, said Jordan. What happened? Teddy glared at him. Nick ignored it. He's cheating, literally, right now in the ladies' room. He knows I'm here and doesn't even care. He's doing it out in the open, right in front of me and everyone. Jordan sat up fast and straight. You're talking about Tom? Yeah. Tom from the YouTube channel Tom's Big Cannons? Nick threw up his hands. That would be the piece of crap I'm talking about, yes. Jordan's palms went white-knuckled on the table as she half stood to get a better look out at the dance floor. Seriously, said Nick. What the hell? Where is he? Jordan asked as she continued to survey the room. You just missed them, said Nick. They went into the ladies' room. At that moment, Nick noticed that under her white-knuckled hand, her phone displayed a timer similar to that of a stopwatch. Are you recording this? Asked Nick. Jordan pulled her phone off the table and stood. It was nice meeting you guys, she said, then shuffled out of the booth. Teddy had to stand to let her out, at which point she walked away without so much as looking back. Nick pondered on Jordan's phone at how odd it seemed that someone would go around recording conversations. He thought about following her to try and get an answer, but at that point the alcohol had taken a firm root. His focus lagged. Teddy sat down hard and glared at him. You scared her away. Sorry, said Nick, but to be honest, he didn't care. His focus returned to the ladies' room door. Thus concludes Chapter 3. Okay, so what do you guys think about a schedule? And what do you guys think about this chapter? Where is the camera? Right here. You, here. Tom's cheating. Not good. Right in front of Nick. Trashy. Alright, till next time.